Yo, welcome everybody to the Theology and Show, where we combine the lofty and the regular by talking reviews, movies, trends, and of course, theology. Today's episode, I want to just share some reflections on the Asbury Revival. It's been a number of weeks since that occurred, and there's just been some things that I've been reflecting on that I think are helpful for us as we process together what all happened. To bring you up to speed, for a number of weeks, college students at Asbury University encountered the Spirit of God through revival. They were worshiping. It was sparked by actually just a chapel message that led students to stay, to continue to worship, to continue to pray, to be together. And a few things that stuck out to me were not just the longevity of it, because I think time will tell all that really comes out of this revival, but a few things that I found just beautiful and profound were this. Number one, there weren't any high-profile names that were speaking at this event or even at the revival that kind of followed the chapel, right? They even kept out high influential worship leaders from coming in. And to be honest with you, and this is no offense to Asbury or the city of Louisville, but like people don't know where Asbury's at, right? Like it was kind of off the grid in a really ordinary part of an ordinary state like Louisville, Kentucky, or like the city and state of Louisville, Kentucky, which I actually spent some of my years with, so I love that place. But again, it's not a popular, well-known spot. And yet here in this chapel, something profoundly beautiful happened where people were desperate for God to have mercy, to move in their life and to show them grace. And here's what I think we can learn from it. God can be very active in the obscure places of our lives. When you think about where God is at, it's often the case that we expect God to be where we want him to be and not where he actually is. And so I think there's something for us to be thinking about how God is moving in hidden ways, in obscure ways. He's in the ordinary places of life doing profound things. You know, we often talk about, man, what's like the big thing that God is calling you to, right? Maybe if you grew up in just like youth culture or church youth culture, you were kind of told over and over and over that like God's got a big plan for your life and you're going to do like something really big for God. I'm wondering if we got that wrong, and the next step forward is for us to think about us doing not one big thing for God, but a million ordinary things for God, and actually finding something beautiful there in our lives as we do the ordinary, mundane stuff and find God there. Because again, he's often not where we expect him to be. He's in the hidden places. And theologically, that's what we speak of, the hiddenness of God, how God is behind the scenes everywhere all the time doing a gazillion little things through ordinary acts. And in a world that I think is so broken, polarized, and disillusioned with the supernatural, we have an opportunity to encounter God in the ordinary places. And the Asbury Revival, for me personally, was just a great opportunity to consider how God is in the obscure moments. And then, of course, it's Easter season. My last thought is this. When Jesus rose from the dead, he could have gone back to Herod. He could have gone back to Pontius Pilate and showed his resurrected body to them. You imagine you show yourself beating death before the biggest power the world had ever seen, right? And yet Jesus doesn't go that route. And I think there's an invitation for us to avoid the kind of powerful route, to avoid the route of influence where everyone gets attention and that's where we think big things happen, and to consider how God is taking a different route of power, a different route of influence, and we can actually meet and experience him there. Grace and peace, you guys.